Hello everyone and welcome to Uncle Iroh's Tea Shop. So Avatar is getting a new video game. That's news that's more shocking, honestly, than when Zuko found out that Sokka's first girlfriend turned into the moon. But in all seriousness, the words video game and Avatar The Last Airbender by historical standards don't really mix well, given this is not a franchise that you normally would associate with the media format of a video game, whether it's through the quantity of how many we've gotten or the quality of said games that we have gotten already. We just got the announcement of a brand new video game for the franchise, and it sounds very promising, and I will break it down here today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy some jasmine tea as we run through this news video. Now, just in terms of some general history with regards to video games in the franchise, it is extensive, although it really is not that popular. I don't think there has ever been a single game made out of the Avatar franchise that has stood the test of time and became memorable for people to go back and play. For context, just from a personal perspective, I have not played any of the games made out of this brand. They either came out during a time when I wasn't really playing video games as a kid, or when they did come out, I was probably playing other stuff that grabbed my attention more. But my point still stands in saying that this is not really a franchise that you associate with video games as opposed to other media formats like books or shows or the live-action abomination that is the M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's funny because the first video that I actually put on this channel was covering one of the more recent Avatar video games called Avatar: The Quest for Balance. Let's just say that that game did not end up turning out that well, and no one liked it in terms of its quality, but also just the kind of video game that it was. Out of curiosity though, would any of you actually like to see me implement that as a video idea for the future, where I actually go back and play the older games? I am a bit of a hardcore gamer myself, and I have not played a game in this franchise, and maybe that could be a new avenue for me in terms of the new content ideas, so let me know down below in the comments. With all that aside, let's actually get into talking about the real news, which is the announcement of the brand new video game. This comes from an IGN exclusive where they managed to get this news. Avatar: The Last Airbender is officially getting a AAA RPG video game from the studios Saber Interactive and Paramount Game Studios. It is an action-based RPG that they are making in collaboration with Avatar Studios, which, as we know, is under the names of the original creators Michael DiMartino and Brian Kaniensko. The article mentions that it is still in early development, and so the details are going to be sparse, but both companies call it the biggest video game that the Avatar franchise has ever seen, which, to be clear, is not that shocking given RPGs are usually the biggest kinds of video games in terms of scale. They say that it will put players in the role of an all-new, never-before-seen Avatar, and it takes place thousands of years in the past before our current timeline with the characters that we know and love. They also say that story-wise, it's going to feature elements both new and familiar to the fans of the franchise. So let's break this down, because I think this information can be enticing, but also for me personally, I'm still going to keep myself a little open-minded. Just for my gaming perspective, whenever I see the phrase AAA studio, it gets me a little worried, because if you are someone who follows gaming as much as I do, you'll know that that is a very dirty word right now, given the state of gaming with regards to multiplayer games specifically, and how they are made by AAA studios. However, the caveat is that it seems like without more extensive details, it is mainly going to be a story-driven game. Nowhere in the article does it mention multiplayer. Personally speaking, I don't mind if there is a multiplayer component to it, but I would probably prefer if this franchise stuck to the story-driven narrative. Saber Interactive is an interesting studio as I look through their list of games. They've made a Ghostbusters game in the past, a World War Z game, which I've heard good things about, a very popular game called Teardown, which is basically Legos, but even more fun. But then you get to the top of their list of new stuff coming out, which I think is going to make some people very happy. They are the publisher for a new A Quiet Place game, the publisher for a new Jurassic Park video game coming soon, and then they are one of the main developers on a zombie game called John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, which is also coming soon. But that's not the big one of them all. Their most recent game is a little one called Space Marine 2, which, if anyone here knows, is currently right now one of the most popular video games of the entire year. So popular that as of right now, it is getting Game of the Year praise. This gets me really excited, because if this is the lineup of games that they have under their belt, that gets me really excited for the potential that they could bring to an RPG style game in this universe. It is a genre that has given us some of the most popular video games and video game franchises in history. As far as I'm aware, Saber Interactive is a studio that doesn't have a whole lot of dirt on them in terms of committing to some of the bad practices of video game development these days. So, like I said, This news makes me happy that they are the ones taking it on. Now, to my gamers out there, what is, in your opinion, your favorite RPG that you have ever played? Drop it down below in the comments. I'm not one who's ever truly been an RPG player, but I definitely will get my hands on this if it is great. Regarding some of the other more franchise-related details, this is now where us Avatar fans get to dive deep into the things that we love so much, which is discussing the lore and canon of everything. So like I said, as the article mentions, the game will be taking place thousands of years in the past, following a new Avatar that we have not seen before. I actually like this because it allows us to explore a time period in which everything is new, and so there aren't that many rules as far as how certain things work around characters that we have already known. So far in the real-time continuity of the Avatar universe, we only know several confirmed Avatar names. Wan, the original Avatar who was around 10,000 years in the past, Zalir, Gun, Salai, Zato, Yangcheng, Kuruk, Kyoshi, Roku, Aang, and now Korra, who are all in the present timeline. If the game is taking place thousands of years in the past, that would mean that we would not be going back too far if the dates were to add up correctly. I don't think we are going to be anywhere near the timeline of when the original first couple of Avatars were around, given just how far back that those were. I would say that for the time being, there's only so much we can speculate on given the details of the game, but also the timeline and lore that we already know. In your opinion, what kind of Avatar do you want to see in this game, element-wise? Of the ones that we have seen already, Aang was air-based, and then Korra was water-based as they started. So as of right now, we still have yet to follow an Avatar who started as fire or earth. The new rumored animated Avatar series from Avatar Studios coming out in the future is said to be following an earth-based Avatar, as we know given the way the cycle works. So maybe to counter that, this game could see us following a fire-based Avatar to change things up. And also, what is the world of Avatar looking like thousands of years in the past? Is it any different to the way that the world looked in The Last Airbender? Legend of Korra had a pretty big step up in terms of progression and technology, but if I had to take a guess, I'd say that 1,000 years in the past would look way more similar to the timeline of what the world looked like in The Last Airbender. Regardless, let me know what you think on what you would like to see. I think that is going to do it though with regards to covering this news. Again, the details are very sparse. We only got a few things to gather from this news article, which should help us, the fans, speculate on where they could go. What do you all think about this news? Let me know down below in the comments, and also let me know if you would like to see me go back and play those older games as I mentioned at the beginning. It would add a lot to the different content ideas that I could make other than what I want to do already. If you did enjoy the video and you want to see more, be sure to drop it a like, and if you are new to this channel, subscribe and turn on that notification bell. My fellow benders of all four nations, thank you all for stopping by Uncle Iroh's Tea Shop. I hope everyone here has a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all soon for more Avatar.